The Devil and Miss Prym by Paulo Coelho. Introduction. The Devil and Miss Prym is a novel by Paulo Coelho that tells the story of a small village in the mountains that is faced with a moral dilemma. A stranger arrives in the village and offers the townspeople a deal. He will give them a large amount of gold if they agree to kill one of their own. The novel explores themes of morality, destiny, and the human condition. Summary. The Devil and Miss Prym is a novel by Paulo Coelho that tells the story of a small village in the mountains that is faced with a moral dilemma. The novel is written in a simple and straightforward style, but it is full of deep philosophical and spiritual insights. The story begins with the arrival of a stranger in the village of Viscos. The stranger is a mysterious figure who is later revealed to be the devil himself. He comes to the village with a proposition for the townspeople. He will give them a large sum of gold if they agree to kill one of their own. The townspeople are initially hesitant to accept the devil's offer, but as the days go by, they become more and more tempted by the prospect of wealth. They begin to discuss the idea among themselves, and some of them even start to plan how they would carry out the murder. Meanwhile, a young woman named Chantal Prym has recently returned to the village after spending several years in the city. She is unhappy with her life in Viscos and dreams of leaving the village to start a new life somewhere else. One day, she overhears the townspeople discussing the devil's offer, and she becomes determined to stop them from carrying out the murder. Chantal approaches the village priest, Father Gregorius, and tells him about the devil's offer. She hopes that he will be able to convince the townspeople to reject the devil's proposal. However, Father Gregorius is unable to sway their opinion, and Chantal realizes that she must take matters into her own hands. Chantal decides to set a trap for the devil. She tells the townspeople that she has found a way to outsmart the devil and keep the gold for themselves. She suggests that they should pretend to agree to the devil's offer, but secretly plan to keep the gold and not carry out the murder. The townspeople are skeptical of Chantal's plan, but they agree to go along with it. They set a trap for the devil, and when he arrives in the village to collect the gold, they attack him. The devil is caught off guard and is unable to defend himself. He is killed by the townspeople, and they celebrate their victory. However, the townspeople soon realize that they have made a grave mistake. They are consumed by guilt and regret, and they start to turn on each other. Chantal is the only one who remains calm and level-headed. She realizes that the townspeople have been tested by the devil. Characters. Here are the main characters in The Devil and Miss Prym. 1. Chantal Prym, a young woman who has recently returned to her hometown of Viscos. She is unhappy with her life in the village and dreams of leaving to start a new life somewhere else. When she overhears the townspeople discussing the devil's offer, she becomes determined to stop them from carrying out the murder. Chantal is a brave and intelligent character who is willing to risk everything to do what is right. 2. The Devil, a mysterious stranger who arrives in Viscos with a proposition for the townspeople. He offers them a large sum of gold if they agree to kill one of their own. The devil is a cunning and manipulative character who is able to tempt the townspeople with his offer. 3. Father Gregorius, the village priest who is initially skeptical of the devil's offer. He tries to convince the townspeople to reject the offer, but he is unable to sway their opinion. Father Gregorius is a wise and compassionate character who tries to do what is best for his community. 4. The townspeople, the residents of Viscos who are faced with the devil's offer. They are initially hesitant to accept the offer, but as the days go by, they become more and more tempted by the prospect of wealth. They start to discuss the idea among themselves, and some of them even start to plan how they would carry out the murder. The townspeople are a diverse group of characters who represent different aspects of human nature. 5. The mayor, the leader of the town who is one of the most vocal proponents accepting the devil's offer. He is motivated by greed and is willing to sacrifice the life of one of his own to gain wealth. 6. The hotel owner, a wealthy businessman who is one of the most vocal opponents of accepting the devil's offer. He is motivated by a sense of justice and morality, and he tries to convince the townspeople to reject the offer. 7. The bar owner, a man who is initially hesitant to accept the devil's offer, but he becomes more and more tempted as the days go by. He is a conflicted character who represents the struggle between good and evil. All of the characters in The Devil and Miss Prym are well developed and complex. They each represent different aspects of human nature, and their interactions with each other help to explore the novel's themes of morality, destiny, and the human condition. Themes. The Devil and Miss Prym explore several themes, including 1. Good vs. Evil. The novel explores the struggle between good and evil, and how people are often tempted by the prospect of wealth and power. 2. Morality. The novel raises questions about morality and whether it is ever justifiable to take another person's life. 3. Destiny. The novel explores the idea of destiny and whether people have free will to make their own choices or whether their fate is predetermined. 4. Human nature. The novel examines the darker aspects of human nature, including greed, envy, and the desire for power. 5. Redemption. The novel suggests that even the most flawed characters can find redemption and make amends for their mistakes. These themes are explored through the interactions between the characters and the events of the plot. The novel invites readers to reflect on their own beliefs and values, and to consider the consequences of their actions. Motifs. The Devil and Miss Prym makes use of several motifs to reinforce its themes and ideas. Some of these motifs include 1. The number 7. Throughout the novel, the number 7 appears several times, often associated with the 7 deadly sins. This motif emphasizes the idea that the characters are being tested and that they must overcome their own flaws and weaknesses in order to achieve redemption. 2. The river. The river that runs through the village is a recurring motif that represents the passage of time and the inevitability of change. It also serves as a metaphor for the journey that the characters must undertake in order to find the strength to resist temptation. 3. The devil. The devil is a central motif in the novel, representing the forces of evil and temptation that the characters must overcome. The devil is often depicted as a seductive figure, tempting the characters with promises of wealth and power. 4. The tree. The tree that stands on the hill overlooking the village is a powerful symbol of life and death. It represents the cycle of nature and the idea that everything must eventually come to an end. 5. The gold. The gold that the stranger offers to the villagers is a powerful motif that represents the temptation of wealth and the corrupting influence of money. The gold serves as a test of the character's moral fortitude, and those who are unable to resist its allure are ultimately doomed to fail. These motifs are woven throughout the novel, adding depth and complexity to the story and reinforcing its central themes and ideas. Setting. The setting of The Devil and Miss Prym is a small, isolated village in the mountains. The village is surrounded by forests and mountains and is cut off from the outside world. The village has a rich history and traditions, which are closely tied to the natural environment. The villagers are simple people who live off the land and who are deeply connected to their community. The village is a place of contrasts, with beautiful scenery and a peaceful way of life, but also with poverty, superstition, and a dark history. The setting reinforces the novel's themes of good vs. evil and the struggle for redemption, and creates a sense of isolation and claustrophobia that heightens the tension of the story. Diction. The diction of The Devil and Miss Prym is simple and straightforward, with a focus on clarity and precision. The language is accessible and easy to understand, with short, declarative sentences that convey a sense of urgency and tension. The dialogue is sparse, but when it appears, it is natural and realistic, with characters speaking in a way that is consistent with their personalities and backgrounds. The novel makes use of a variety of literary devices, such as metaphors, similes, and personification, to create vivid images and convey complex ideas. The diction is also notable for its use of repetition, particularly in the descriptions of the natural environment and the characters' internal struggles. Overall, the diction of The Devil and Miss Prym is well suited to the novel's themes and ideas and helps to create a sense of atmosphere and tension that draws the reader in. Writing style. The writing style of The Devil and Miss Prym is characterized by its clarity, simplicity, and economy of language. The prose is spare and direct, with a focus on conveying meaning and emotion through precise word choice and vivid imagery. The novel is divided into short chapters, each of which is focused on a particular character or aspect of the story. This structure creates a sense of tension and momentum, as the reader is drawn into the character's struggles and conflicts. The writing style is also notable for its use of symbolism and metaphor, which add depth and complexity to the story without detracting from its accessibility. Overall, the writing style of The Devil and Miss Prym is well suited to the novel's themes and ideas, and creates a sense of intimacy and immediacy that draws the reader in and keeps them engaged. Genre. The Devil and Miss Prym is a philosophical novel which explores deep questions about human nature, morality, and the nature of evil. The novel is also a work of fiction and contains elements of suspense, drama, and psychological thriller. The story is driven by the characters' internal struggles and conflicts, as well as by the external forces that threaten the village and its inhabitants. The novel is characterized by its exploration of universal themes and ideas, and its focus on the human condition. Overall, The Devil and Miss Prym is a thought-provoking work that defies easy categorization and is likely to appeal to readers who enjoy complex, challenging literature